Welcome everybody to Wolves After Dark. It's 6:30 PST, 8:30 Central Time. Wolves win 128 to 98. Thank you all for all of your support and joining us on a Sunday evening, Pro Bowl Sunday. Did you guys know that the Pro Bowl they wear it's like flag football now? They don't wear their unis and they don't wear um their armor, their pads. I didn't know that. Also, I didn't even tune in. I just saw some digs through an interception to his brother or something. That's all I saw. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves thrashed the no D Denver no bucket Nuggets 128 to 98. Resting their starters, so they only really had Michael Porter Jr. out there as their own like lone starter, kind of saying something to the league that with these home and homes, maybe this game is their rest game, and then they take it seriously the next game. I mean, that's pretty good load management, if you ask me. But also, man, all those fans who flew out from Nicaragua and Paraguay and the Netherlands and even Hong Kong just to see KCP. They didn't get a chance to see KCP today. That sucks. Um, Nathan, turns out the Nuggets aren't very good about their four best players. Turns out, you know what really was exciting? That we turned out. We just kicked their ass. We will always play to the level of competition. That's been our mantra. That's been kind of like the philosophy of this team for the past few years. That didn't happen tonight. Lots of good signs from this team growing into what I feel is like, you know, setting kind of the bar for how we want to play. How do we respond from a game like the previous game where we just chalked it up to turnover after turnover after turnover, where a game we could have probably won, you know, against the Magic? Man, that was such a like a death blow, you know, like to the rising momentum of this team. Well, I'm glad to hear that I'm glad to see that it mattered. And as we're leading into the All Star break, games like this matter so much more. We just got a blockbuster trade, or at least a trade, where Kyrie Irving is now in the Western Conference for the first time in his career, and he's now a Maverick. And we have essentially identical records as the Mavericks, and so we're playing against Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic now. You know what I mean? Like that's the competition that we're up against. It's no longer the Jazz and the Lakers or whatever they are trying to be. It's also the Mavericks. It's also the Suns, and they're kind of gearing up for maybe a couple moves too. You know, so wins matter. Win at all costs, and it's nice to see where you know you win by 30, but you have a lead that's so comfortable you don't even need to play Anthony Edwards in the fourth quarter. And that is gravy, man. That's what you want to feel because that is like you built a lead and you get to see your young dudes. Great point by Jim Peterson and Michael Grady kind of on the broadcast saying that like we might not get those picks, or actually we don't have those picks. Those are Utah's picks. But we have our picks kind of with Minot and Wendell Moore and even like the growth of Garza, you know. So these kind of are the growth that we get, the youth that we're bringing into the fold. Awesome to see. Some key stats: 33 assists, only 11 turnovers. That was kind of the opposite, right? Last game against the Magic. We didn't really rebound the ball, but did we need to? We shot the ball 55% clip, man. That's like 3 or 5 offensive rebounds. That's that's like what we missed, we got, so getting to a line a lot. I like to see that as like just a trend, a positive trend for the Timberwolves. Is just getting to the line a lot and like less bitching and moaning at the refs and just doing the work. Um, and just kind of winning all the battles. Like maybe the steals and like points off turnovers. We won all those like factors that good teams typically do to win a game and close out a game early in the third quarter, getting up by 20. It got a little scary there where it got down to like 14, and then Ant just kind of like blitzed out on like an 8-0 run on his own to like end the quarter, and then blew the game wide open. Um, I think without a further ado, we can go to the tier list. I think it's time to tier list, and we have a big stinking tier list tonight. Um, and that's kind of fun in a time like this where you know we give Ant a little bit of rest, we give D'Lo a little bit of rest, and man, you know, get well soon. Kyle Anderson, he tried to give it a go tonight, and I just didn't feel like he needed it. I don't feel like we needed him against the replacement Nuggets, and I just didn't think it was fair to him to put him out there. Sure, he's like getting the doctor's orders to go, but like then the doctors are wrong because you're having back spasms again. Like that's just isn't that crazy to me? Like just rest, be generally sore, be managed for load. Don't try to give it a go against the Nuggets C team. I don't because he matters so much to our squad, and to have Kyle Anderson kind of go out like that, it's like not fair, not really fair. I don't think so. I'm happy that he's trying to give it a go, but I'm also just like I'd rather see him 100% healthy or not at all. Because come post game, come postseason, we need his ass more than ever. Um, Before I get into some of these players, Cameron's not here tonight. He's on a shoot, so you know it's just me tonight in my blanket, getting all warm and cozy with me tonight. Um, with that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And that's it. I'm done with that. That ticket goes away after 5 seconds, and it's gonna be a quick show. Not much to say, and I wouldn't really want it any other way right now because I have no passion or no interest in any of those players on the Nuggets. And we will talk maybe briefly about Bones Highland. But the bench players of the Timberwolves came to show tonight, and we were just kind of looking at Orlando's Magic's bench. It's like how important and how emphatic and how you know just proactive they are on the court. They build, they extend, they sustain leads, or they are as exciting as their starters. Well, it's nice to have some sort of like you know comparison to that on our squad, where we thought in the beginning of the season we were going to have quite a solid bench. Um, and it hasn't really reared its head yet, but let's start. And I have to do some like improv here, like 3 or 4 uh screens in one, and I hopefully will get to the comments when there are comments to talk about. I'll say that much. It's a very lightly attended show tonight so far, and we'll go quick. We'll go quick. Cat showing up with a Vikings jersey. D. Minot, he got a jam. B. Austin Rivers suspended. Wancho. Wendell Moore had a drive and kick out to what was it? Kick out for a Minot jam. C. I think Minot and Wendell Moore could have future rotation minutes in on our team as we start to like kind of groove into an identity. These guys could be those players. Like when unfortunately, when like Torian Prince and Kyle Anderson come out of this team and age out of our team, maybe like Minot fills that role. And when we're trying to find that third guard, maybe we don't have to look that hard. It's actually just Wendell Moore. I like thinking about that a little bit, and it's fun to have that trust in our front office to be like, okay, well, we don't have to rely on the picks. We can have these players kind of play with the players already. Kind of this is their rookie year, like being groomed into something because they're just going to be role players. Like they're drafted to be role players, and this is their role, and they've matured into it. when you draft a pick that's like top pick and then they don't get minutes, they're gonna turn their smiles upside down and become potentially issues, And so when you're growing a team, when you're building an identity, when you're in this like potential contention scenario, well, your team is built. You just have to fill in the fillers, right? Well, we're trying to find culture as well, and I think culture starts with welcome back, baby Mac. I loved what I saw from him. I feel so safe and secure with the ball in his hands. I feel like the bench feels like another tier up when he's in the court. And you know how we have a pretty guard like the ball is heavily in guards' hands. Ant D'Lo. When for 30 games we did not have Jordan McLaughlin out there. We had it in Jalen Noel's hands. Man, it was rough. Jalen Noel maybe one of his best performances this season tonight. And I think it had also a lot to do with the fact that Jordan McLaughlin was out there because he's giving the off ball chances, not the on ball chances for Jalen. And I think that's important. Jalen Noel, a B. Um, I'm not going to get into so many of the stats here, but Jalen Noel, 16 points. That's pretty solid, pretty effective. And we're not going to get much more than that from him, but it's also great to see that we got it from him. I think the February Jalen Noel is a good February Jalen Noel. Let's see it. Let's see it kind of mature into something. Let's see it sustain. In the mixes, we didn't have Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers will be part of this rotation. We're probably going to be trimming the roster from like 10 in the rotation to like 9, 8. And we're already starting to see some of that when we were injured and we've had people ejected and suspended and now suspended. Our roster has been thinning. So like the rotation has been experimented with a little bit, but mostly it's just Jalen Noel, Torian Prince, Naz Reid. And now we have Austin Rivers, and now we have Jordan McLaughlin in there. That's 10. So of that 10, a couple people's minutes are going to be cut. And I think notably, it's going to be Jalen Noel. I also think that Nathan Knight's minutes are going to go to probably Naz Reid or something, but like Torian Prince's minutes is going to be there. But also when Cat comes back, Slow Mo is going to be there. So we're going to be probably 8 or 9 deep in the postseason, and I think that's good. That's good for us. But um, there's gonna be that off chance that Jalen Noel's gonna get those minutes, the 10th man off the bench, and he's gonna be that spark plug. We're gonna need him, and it's nice to see. And he made a three tonight. He had a cool and one as well. It's good. Um, Positive vibes, even if he's a struggle bus for us this year. I'm gonna try to just be promoting and be positive for him. Godfrey, welcome to the show. The NBA season should be 10 games shorter. Um, Thank you for that comment. I don't know what that means. Oh, we meaning these like 20 games are just going to be mattering so much more because it's going to be a 72 game season instead of 82. So we get to the postseason earlier. Is that what you're trying to say? Like peak early because we might miss our opportunities. I don't know. I don't know. I think the season is a proper length. I Maybe you're talking about injuries. Actually, maybe that's why you're saying that. But yeah, I don't know the load management and all that nonsense. I guess it's all kind of in the same conversation. Notably, Bryn Forbes in play, Luca Garza, G League All Star. I'm not going to grade Kyle Anderson because I feel like it's a little unfortunate that um, he's still kind of lingering on with injuries. I think Torian Prince played a pretty solid game overall, but he missed all of his outside shots, I believe. And maybe he hit that three at the end. I think that's right. Um, I'll give him a C, and maybe I'm wrong. Actually, when Kyle Anderson went out, Torian Prince kept like a stable presence in the second unit. B. We're positive today because we're vibing on the win. To the starters, though, Jaden McDaniels, first team all defense in our hearts, third team all defense, not even mentioned in all NBA chatter, is going to be the reality. B, he was amazing. He's also in those weird like moments where who is he guarding? Like Conchar? I don't know. He felt like Michael Porter Jr. got his points or whatever, but like I didn't feel him at all. He had some insane lockdown um, possessions where nothing could get past him. And they have a pretty solid rookie. His name is like Brown, Christian Brown or something like that. And I do feel like Jade McDaniels had to switch on to him because that guy was feeling it. But I guess that guy is really fast with the ball too. So like I can kind of see why they might be kind of leaning away from Bones Highland. Bones Highland's kind of a wild card, and Bones Highland might have like caused some rifts in the culture and like the locker room, right? And Christian Brown just seems like a soldier that'll fit in line and do what is asked. And man, I feel a little weird about the Nuggets. Like when they don't have their four players, this is their bench. Is this a good bench? I don't know. But they're the top team in the league, top team in the West, and we took them down. Every win counts. It's exciting to see. Uh, we're not taking these teams for granted, but we also just slaughtered them. And that like the first beatdown of the season, like 30 points. I don't think we've had another one of those games. We've had a lot of close butt clenching games this year. Gobert, you know what I loved what I saw from him? I think he was a little foul prone today as opposed to previous games and previous outings. Um, I think a B for him is a solid grade. I would have waited for, more response from um the chat as well as if I had Cameron, he would have some comments here. I just think we're finding Gobert now. I think D'Lo is a direct, response. Like he's been called to action to find Gobert in these spots. My favorite play, almost of the entire game, was when D'Lo drove to the side a little bit, allowing a clear lane for Gobert to just run, sprint, hand up in the air. D'Lo got the ball to him, and it was an alley oop for a dunk, or essentially an alley oop. And that's how we can utilize Gobert. That's how we can utilize any big, really. But like Gobert, that was cool because we want free points. We want easy points. We want trips to the free throw line. We want those opportunities to come easily. And Gobert can do that for us. And 16 and 8, awesome. Also, probably foul trouble, but he had only had to play 20 minutes, so that's cool. 17 minutes in the 17 or to 18 minutes, in fact. You know who I'm missing from the tier list so far is Nas Reed, and I'm just gonna give him a C. I think he made his shit. He made his shots in the first half. I don't think we really saw him in the second half. So, Solidus T. Load management, Godfrey. Yeah, yeah. I know. Um, I made a weird joke in the beginning of the broadcast about that. Solidus T. I'm still seeing a lack of motivation from the Wolves. I don't know how to respond to that because I'm both seeing that as well as seeing a new brand of basketball kind of being grown organically, and I'm enjoying it. So 82 games is not 16 games or 17 games like the NFL. So every game matters in the NFL, right? And 162 or whatever games in baseball, every game doesn't need to have the same level of motivation than others, right? You want to win your games, but you want to win every game you can, but you also need to manage, expectations. And oh, you said something else here. You said forget the game. The Wolves need Cat back ASAP to compete with the Mavericks now that they got Kyrie. I got a feeling the Wolves might have to play them in the play-in or playoffs. Ooh. Yeah, I'm fearing teams like Dallas and even Sacramento and just teams that have um more speed, more um yeah, just more speed. Um I think Kyrie's going to give them a nice dimension that they probably didn't have. They had Jalen Brunson, who was doing a lot for them. They traded him away for Dinwiddie, who Dinwiddie was a version of Brunson that they liked, they coveted, but doesn't have the same gravity as a player like Kyrie. And that means Luca can rest on offense, or the way that we use Ant and D'Lo will be the next player that we talk about. Actually, oh, and I forgot Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, see, he made a three. Um, maybe he made more than that, but let's just quickly check in. Oh, he got 10 points. Oh, that's a B. Sorry, Matty R. I thought that was pretty sweet. I think he's awful defensively, Matt Ryan. But anyways, yeah, I'm actually excited that you're thinking like this. You're thinking in like the future scope of what's going to happen and kind of anticipating matchups. How do we match up against teams like the Mavericks? I think the deficiencies in their team, they just lost their best defender in Dorian Finney-Smith. They did get back one of the Morris brothers, Marquise Morris, I think. But Kyrie is a net negative defender. I think Luca is a net negative defender, like D'Lo. He's very comparable defensively to D'Lo, where they just try to hide him or put him in the corner, like on the corner guy. And I don't think that what they have to offer with the rest of their players, I think that like this helps shore in some of their rotation. Um, I do think that we have advantages to their full roster, and I also think that Ant's going to cook. D'Lo's going to cook, man, against the Mavericks. So I'm less concerned about the Mavericks than I am against the Kings. Actually, I think the Kings are just at a play. They play at a different pace than us, and I think they're gonna be that much hungrier. And I just worry. And also, I just think that Kyrie is going to be potentially an issue. He might just be one and done. Who knows? Or 20 games and done. So I'm not worried about that. Wolves will beat the Cloud Kings in the playoffs if they play small ball in the fourth quarter, switching the small ball if they did in Gold State a few games ago. Will help the Wolves win. Oh, interesting. Well, I haven't thought too much about like the what Cat's going to bring, and I haven't seen this Wolves team with Cat in a while. So you know, Cat at the five will be nice. Yeah, like Gobert does not really feel like he belongs in that series. Like Gobert will play Sabonis a little bit, but then Sabonis is foul prone too. So and Nas Reed will be a huge benefit to play as well. So I don't know about like going small, like Jaden at the four is what you're thinking maybe. But like our best players are like Slow Mo and Torian Prince and Jaden McDaniels. So um, yeah, thank you for the conversation. This would have been a pretty light show without you, all of you here. Mavericks would be trash on defense though, so advantage Wolves. I definitely feel that. How exciting is this, man? Like we're now feeling it. We're getting into a pace where Jane, Baby Mac, Lil Mac is back. Torian Prince is kind of back. He's looking healthy. He's looking good again. Cat will come back when Slow Mo comes back at 100%. We're gonna be fully healthy. We're peaking. We're growing. We're like ascending. We're not like descending. We're not stepping off the gas pedal. As you did say earlier, we sometimes don't look like we have the motivation, or we don't look like we have the care to win. It's maybe hard to have that, as Ant had said in post game, like you need to be told to turn it on. You need to be told to, kick into a new gear sometimes, and then they snap it. They step into it. And Godfrey, that's right. They proved you wrong though last year. D'Lo, I did not expect the start that we had, and D'Lo contributed like literally all of his production in that first quarter. It was like 14 and like 13 and 5 assists, and man, he killed it. And then he was nowhere to be found, but also like did he need to be found again? And it was nice to see other people stepping up. Notably, Jalen Noel had a lot of minutes tonight to kind of offload some of the pressure for D'Lo because they've been playing their butt off lately. I'm going to give D'Lo in 30 minutes, 18 and 10, but most notably, just taking care of the ball. I'm going to give him a B. There might not be an A tonight. Ant, sub 50% shooting. He made 1 3 at the end of the third quarter. He was 0 for 4 before that. Got to the line a few times. Had a couple of power dunks. That was great to see. Um, but I do think that maybe the matchups are not as interesting. So then maybe he takes plays off. Maybe he started becoming a little careless. We had, I think, the entire first quarter without a turnover. That was insane. And then I think we just turned off that part of our brain and we started throwing the ball a little bit further than we should have. I think Kylerson did that a couple times. I think Ant did that a couple times. Ant's ascension is going to be about him with the ball and what decisions he makes with the ball, right? So, um, seeing a couple turnovers here and there is okay, but like we don't want it to be like the Magic game. We don't want it to be like those other games where we got near double digit turnovers. Like we had like 6 turnovers, 7 turnovers, and maybe not even and all of them are being like called on him. But like some of those rush shots are essentially turnovers. I'm gonna give this guy a B. This guy, our guy, the one, a B. And I don't know. That's a that's looking like a pistol. That's looking like a pistol. That's looking like we're ready for war against the Nuggets. I'm excited for the future of the season. I'm excited for what Cat is going to do when he comes back. I'm a little worried about how it's implemented. But if you can fall in line and not take over, that's where Cat's going to like shine. If he learns that this team is running the best with the ball with Ant, like completely, then he's that second fiddle to Ant. This team is going to run. This team is going to continue to excel at what they're good at. I think Cat's going to bring this new dimension to this team, and like he's our vet. We've seen him for years, just taking over the league on from three. He has a bevy of moves. It's like Shaq like post moves too, but he's lost a little bit of his athleticism. He's gotten skinnier, and we'll see how healthy he is when he comes back. You've seen it. I've seen a little more commentary here. Baby Mac will be a huge help, but the Wolves need Cat's 23 points per game. D'Lo became unmotivated when it was an obvious Nuggets. Okay, so that's okay. That probably is fair, and I think D'Lo knows when to turn it on. D'Lo knows when to turn it off. Like he wants to find others to get them in situations to get a groove. And I think it was actually very fair. I don't know if D'Lo was in the game when Noel was in, but that's typically what it's been. But I remember Baby Mac when Baby Mac had the ball in his hands, he was looking for Noel, or the offense would find Noel, and I think that's cool as opposed to Noel running the offense, right? I think that's a sour point for us. And when Rivers comes back, that's going to be very interesting to see how that dynamic of like offense defense. We're behind. Bring in Rivers. We're ahead. You know, bring in Rivers. I don't like Noel is going to be interesting to fit in when he's been almost like fitting out of this roster. Um, the great one. What's up? Well, what's up, man? D'Lo not forcing shots is showing growth. He didn't do that. He didn't need to hunt shots with the opponent on the floor. Yeah, and I saw a lot of like random players. Ish Smith is there, and that's pretty cool. I guess he's been on like 100 teams. But like Bones Highland is not playing for the Nuggets right now. He's like taking off all of his Nugget paraphernalia or Nugget branded merch and stuff like that on his social medias, and maybe he's just this cancer in the locker room that they're looking to offload. It will be interesting to see where he ends up, if he ends up anywhere. I don't know if he really moves the needle for me. I think he could be a nice two for one. Like he's not defensively anything. He's maybe more of a Jamal Crawford than Jalen Noel is, honestly. He's a very quick trigger, and he's kind of erratic and all that stuff. The great one also says he was also feeding Gobert easy looks, which is what we want more of, and that's what I said when I was grading Gobert. I was just so happy to see um, Gobert getting the looks that he deserves, actually, but in the flow of the offense, not like, oh, I just set you a screen, give me the ball. It is, I'm actually flowing to the basket in rhythm, give me the ball, I'm going to dunk it. Oh, that's amazing. When Gobert has to think, I don't like what he has to think. Gobert's pretty good at like pocket pass, getting the ball and passing it out of the paint. But when he has to dribble, when he has to do a post move, no, please no, right? Reset the offense. It's nice to see that he's got an oop, he got a putback, you got the and ones, you got the free throws. That's awesome. And he's super efficient when he does that. And we don't want any more of that. We don't want any more than that. And yeah, I think I agree with this. The Wolves are not good enough to be not taking opponents seriously when they won tonight, but they need to be locked and loaded every game. Oh, I mean, I actually 100% agree with this. And we haven't been there. We haven't proven anything. We've gotten to one series and a series that we probably should have won, but we showed our age, we showed our immaturity, and we showed how we could easily collapse with this like a blink of a snap of a finger. Memphis can go on a 24-10 run, and we're up double digits in the fourth quarter, and we end up losing every game that series that we didn't need to. We could have been facing the Golden State Warriors, who ended up winning the championship, and I felt like we were comparable to them, like in my opinion, last year. And well, defensive rebounding was an issue, matchups were an issue, and we exploited Memphis for what they were. But then they counterpointed by not playing Adams, and Brandon Clark kicked our ass. And anyways, that's all I have for you guys tonight. Um, Good game, good show. We play the Nuggets again on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. I'm excited to see what postgame is gonna bring. I'm gonna check the tweets as well to see if anyone has said anything noteworthy. Um, Minnesota Timberwolves tweeted, "Wolves win, Wolves win, Wolves win." And Johnny K, Brandon in the Athletic, he is wearing nothing but the Athletic wear these days. He's wearing like an Athletic hoodie. Plus 35 for Jalen Noel, 16 points. McDaniels, 14 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Russell, 18 points, 10 assists. McLaughlin, 2 points, but after a 30-game absence. It's so fun to have our others come through, right? In a game that really matters, but against competition that is not, noteworthy. It's great to have the others show up and take over the game. We're going to need that because we're not taking games off, apparently. Ant's not taking days off. It's nice to have these leads so then he can just take the fourth quarter off. Man, that's what I've always been like wanting, craving. It's just like blowouts, aka the Lakers, aka the Bulls, the Jordan Bulls, where they would just play their ass off for 3 quarters and then rest their starters in the fourth. Great one. We won by 30 points, and they did what we're supposed to do for once against the inferior opponent. Exactly. And what was that about the Wolves comparable to the Warriors? I thought we matched up against the Warriors pretty well. I wasn't scared about Clay. I wasn't scared about Wiggins that year. I really wasn't. It was just gonna be Curry taking over, and man, offense for offense. We had that many 3-point shooters last year, and we had Beverly to contain something. And you know, we could play small and we could match their small ball lineup. I think we could have played very well against the Warriors last year. Plus, we had a couple X factors with like Malik Beasley and who they had Jordan Poole, but I feel like they would just be taking threes and we'd just be taking threes as well. So, Peter Davis, thank you for joining us. We did great tonight. Congratulations, everyone. On our way up two games above 500. I think. I guess that makes us what, the sixth seed now. We're right there, man. Every game matters. That's crazy. All I want is the Wolves to stop playing unmotivated basketball. Do that, and we'll win more. That's all I want. Yeah, that's it. That's a great note to add on, because also I feel like that's very true. It's a very true statement. Um, I don't know how they're going to fix it. They got to find that inner motivation. Circle every game, no matter the matchup. Circle every game. But I don't know. That's going to be up for the coaches and the players. Do they want it this year? Right. Well, we want it. We want to see that growth. Um, all right, guys. Take care. All the best. I'll see you guys soon. Go Wolves. Also, almost left without doing this. Intro as the outro. 52 wins is still in play. Peace.